Hey, Kalsbeek here. I just wanted to give you a quick tutorial on SketchUp before we um, move too much further. So let's first start off. So when you're working on your furniture design, a couple of things that we probably want to get completed before we even worry about SketchUp are making sure that we've filled out our design brief, we've filled out our brainstorming, and we've started to fill out some of the first few parts of the design process. As well as your decision matrix. So these are things that you probably should have done already before this point. Okay, so SketchUp, how do we get there? If you go to the Start menu, mine's already here, but if you just go to your All Programs, there should be SketchUp 2014, and you just click on the one that says SketchUp, and it should open up. Now it will give you a just a welcome to SketchUp window that you can use templates from. So what I would do is, rather than just clicking Start using SketchUp, go ahead and click your template. For this, I would probably use feet and inches, but if you desired, if we do something in metric, you could select meters or millimeters or any kind of different template. But I'm going to select feet and inches and start using SketchUp. You'll see the first thing that shows up is my little lady here. You can always select her and delete. So I'm going to do that, and this is what it's going to look like. Before I actually get started though, I actually want to just right click up here on the toolbar, and I want to view the large tool set, and we can deselect the getting started toolbar. And if you want to move it around, you can look where these little dots are, and you can move it. You can move it up here if we wanted to. You can move it over to this side. You can move it over here, and they should lock in place. But either way, this is just there are more tools here that are useful. Another tool that sometimes we end up using is under the sandbox. So if you want to use the sandbox tools, you may find them helpful. You may not. So it's up to you. Alright, so now that we have our tools set up, let's go ahead and let's make something. So SketchUp is pretty straightforward in that you make a two-dimensional shape typically, and then you can extrude, or they call it push-pull, those objects. So let's start by maybe creating a rectangle. You'll notice as I move it, there's a number down here that's moving and giving you the dimensions of that box. So you see 8 foot 6 inches by 15 feet. If you wanted to change that and type in your own, you could type in, let's say, like a 15 foot by 15 foot, and I press enter, and then it locks in a 15 by 15 foot square. This is all two-dimensional. Just a couple of things about viewing. You can use the orbit tool to orbit around and change your view. You can also pan, which is like selecting and grabbing it so that you're pushing a different view. You can also use the zoom tool, and as you click and move up or down, it zooms into that particular spot that you clicked. You can also zoom to an area. And you can also use the roller on your mouse to zoom in and out without selecting any kind. So I could be in the select mode and still zoom in and out. If you press down on the scroll of your mouse, you can orbit. So those are just some quick shortcuts that you can do. Another quick thing that usually helps you kind of get out of sticky situations, if you're all the way in here and you're looking and you're not really sure what you're looking at, a good home place to go is to do zoom extents, and that will take you and put everything that has been created into one view. So no matter how close I am, whenever I click this, it goes back and puts everything into one frame. If I decide I want to erase something, you can use the erase tool to erase. And undo that because I actually want it. If you need to change color of stuff, you can select different different materials, you can select different colors. So you got lots of different options of things. Alright, so I'm going to take this two-dimensional object and then let's make it three-dimensional. So here's where we have our other features here. We have a push-pull, which you're going to use a lot. It takes a flat and complete surface and pushes it in a three-dimensional direction, either up or down. So you can go either way. Also, you notice as I'm moving this up here, you'll notice my distance is also moving up. So if I know that it needs to be 5 feet tall, I can click 5 feet and press enter, zoom extents, and then that shows me by my 15 by 15 by 5 rectangular prism. So there you go. There's how to make shapes. Once you have a three-dimensional shape, you can also make different shapes within that, and you can push-pull those shapes to cut if you want to. So you notice I'm still in that particular push-pull, and if you select a face and roll over it where it says on face, I can click again and it cuts it all the way through. Okay, so I'll show that to you with the other hole. I'm going to push-pull and you'll notice it's selected this surface. Okay, so I've clicked it. Oops, I can do that. I've clicked it to select it and it drags in and out. I'm going to click though on this back surface because I want to make a hole, and there you go. We have a hole. Let's see, another important thing that sometimes students end up running into is they'll create a shape like this, and let's say it looks like this. Okay, I'm going to press the escape key to get out of that particular tool, and so from up here it looks like it's a closed shape, and when I go to try and push-pull it, it's not going to do anything. So why is it not doing anything? Well, it's because this particular shape is not closed. So SketchUp doesn't know what to do with it because it's not a closed shape. So if I want to close it, I just need to simply make it closed. Okay, so it completes it, and now I can, in fact, push-pull, or I should be able to push-pull it. I think it's because it's not all on the same plane. There you go. So that's the problem. So there you go. There's just some pointers of creating two-dimensional and three-dimensional objects in SketchUp. If you have any questions, you can always ask me. There are also some great tutorials. If you just go to Google, SketchUp tutorials, and I can select that, and there's a bunch of SketchUp.com/learn. There's a bunch of beginner tutorials that have showed you a lot of what I just showed you here, and it goes through in this particular one and makes a house for you. So you can do that, and it's going to walk you through
Use the eraser and
how to
erase
build
the
a
two
house,
extra edges.
teaching you a lot of the same concepts, and
At this
probably
point,
doing
you know
a better
some of the
job of it
basics
too.
of SketchUp. So
So
practice
those are a
what you've
couple
learned
of
by
intro
adding to our
things about
simple house.
SketchUp. If you have any
Draw a
questions, please
rectangle
check
and
your
split it in
tutorials
half.
first. Look around on Google or the internet, search around for the
Then use
things that you're trying
push-pull
to
to
do,
create some steps.
because chances are somebody else has run into the same snag before.
Draw a few more rectangles to create
Awesome.
a door and windows.
Get started on your
Try a few things on your
prototype at
own.
this point.